Waiting for that little red bar to go. Says setting up your stream meeting for YouTube Live. I don't like this way.
Well, you should be live though.
And we are live. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sunday Nights with Those Guys. And Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys.
Those guys.
Tom was the special effects echo. Anyway, what's up, AZ Drone Dude? How are you, Tom?
Doing good, Lawrence. Herman, how are you?
Something to
I'm
taste.
good. I'm good.
I
Good,
think
man.
give me something to taste. Yeah, they're fine. My daughter, sorry for chewing.
You
My
did
daughter's
fish
making,
Facebook?
no, yeah. My daughter's making quesadillas, and she comes over with a piece of chicken, just sticks in my mouth. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
it could have been covered with
The
toxins.
on-air light. The on-air light's not on. I mean, you got to get one of those. And
Yeah, I know, right? On air, do not disturb.
that's right.
Anyways, people should be getting alerts. I don't know if you guys got them, but welcome to Sunday Nights with Those
Actually,
Guys.
no. I just opened the.
I
just
see what you're
opened it
saying
myself. That's
about
all I
it
did.
pushing, and it actually opens up a window here. I don't like this because then after the stream, correct me if I'm wrong, Herman,
No,
I have to
just
go into it and end the stream.
No, just go into the studio now on another window and open up the studio.
It's there open already, huh?
Yeah, you can go into the studio.
All right, I'm going to go to,
Open another window.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now.
and
So I
you-
can go to manage videos
right.
and click live. And it should, yes, it does. It shows me live. I can go straight in. Okay.
Or
We're
you-
on.
Control panel.
Yeah, or you can hit analytics.
AZ Drone Dude, how are you this evening?
It says stream, save stream.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you want to change anything in there before you do that.
Well, I didn't put the tag words and all that stuff, but I can see the chat and I can see my analytics. So that's a good thing. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that little bit of help. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do. What's up, Welsh Rob? Welsh Rob, you've been, huh?
Yeah, no, he's a regular now over I see on Canadian Drone Hub.
Yes, I've seen a few people. I mean, I actually haven't seen a whole lot because I'm trying to do more than I can do these days. As I get stronger, I'm staying up longer. I'm not taking the old man naps. Like usually I go flying on a Sunday morning and I come back, hey, and I have to take an old man nap. But
There's nothing wrong with
this
old man
time
now.
I actually stayed awake. I played Xbox for an hour. I ate lunch. I can tell I'm definitely getting stronger though.
Okay.
But yesterday I did not spit out any mucus or anything because I had pneumonia in my lung. Now I've been feeling better, and
Right.
today I don't know what it was, but it came out. I was expecting after I spit it out for it to start crawling down the sidewalk because it was about that big. It's like it had a life of its own. How was your week, Tom?
Another week. It's hard to tell when it ends, when it starts. Okay, so it's one of those.
Yeah, I can understand.
They
that.
just seem to blur together. It's
Oh,
been an
thank you.
ordeal.
Got a spammer.
And
Got a spanner or spammer today.
Spanner.
Well, we get them all the time here on Those Guys. That's why we try to pay attention to the chat. And now YouTube has actually gotten good. If somebody leaves a nasty comment, hey, ABQ quadcopter,
ABQ.
if someone leaves a
How are
nasty
you?
comment or something derogatory or a link, they naturally hide it from you, but it's still up to you to report it.
Right.
Because we get these links in our comments,
Wow.
girls, and all of that stuff. They're bots. Whether they're bots or not, I don't click on them. I report them, and then you don't see them again for a while. So
A lot
I'm
of spammers
honored.
out there. Yeah.
Huh?
A lot of spammers out there. You got to be careful. Text messaging, that's a big one. You got to be really careful. My wife just got one earlier today that said her Amazon account had been compromised. Please click this link.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And she
I
said,
hope
"Oh,
she didn't.
look at
I hope
this."
I hope
No,
she
she
didn't
said
click
to
it.
me, "Hey, look at this." And I said, "Oh, yep, that's a typical. Do not touch those."
Yeah.
Hey, anytime you get anything from your bank or anything else, no. Go to your browser and go to your bank's website. Don't go through any email, any link.
Or you can even call the bank.
Well, they've been trying.
Absolutely. Well, they're not going to call you.
Right.
And they're not, if they email you, they're going to actually tell you. I got an email not too long ago from Chase on
Hey,
something.
Tim Jackson.
And they did not include a link in the email. It said, go to our website. So you got to be careful with that stuff.
Here's something you got to be careful about also.
What's up,
I
Tim?
had someone, you know how people play these third-party games on Facebook?
Uh-huh.
And they say to request friends.
Oh, yeah, please.
Well, there's a young lady that used to listen to my internet radio shows back in the late 90s. And she said that she used, hey, FPV Joel, she used my email.
Hey, FPV Joel.
She used just my email so she could get some extra points or something. So now I'm receiving messages via email saying, hey, Margaret, your car insurance is up. Her name is Margaret. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So however they compromise that third party game or whatever is kind of silly, but to make a long story short, now I'm getting emails saying, hey, Margaret, check this out. Hey, Margaret, your insurance is running up. It's like same as the robocalls and stuff. How's everybody doing? Tim Jackson, how are you, sir? I hope you're doing fine in your sobriety and everything, and I support you 100% in that. It's always good to see someone making steps to advance themselves. So I commend you on that highly. Okay. Mm-hmm. I went out flying today, guys. As you saw, I posted a DVR video. And you know what's funny, Tom? You see this little thing right here?
Uh-huh.
This is what I flew, right? Now, in the video, you see me fly across the water to those buildings. I haven't even done it with none of these big babies here yet.
Okay.
And these are set up. This is long range, semi-long range. But I did it with this little thing. The only problem is it's so small, you can't put a GoPro on it.
Right, so you were on your analog video.
Yeah. Right, I was actually, the video was recorded through the goggles.
Yeah, through the goggles,
I tested myself. I'm doing great. More energy than you can use. Well, if the 18 plus rating was on, I could tell you how you could exert some of that energy, but well, you get the idea. You get it, It's like, hey, wifey, what's up? Rob Kamada, how are you?
Hey,
and
Rob.
Welcome back.
How are you,
how are you? And welcome back to Sunday Nights with those guys. But anyway.
But Lawrence, you see what I was saying to you about the screen with when you have it now with the studio window, you got the studio chat, and then you got the.
Yes, I actually went into
the Zoom window,
the studio that way. And that's actually a nice way because I like to see my demographics. I mean, not demographics, my analytics.
Yeah.
The rest of you's in the chat. They'll eventually get this figured out. In the meantime, I got pretzels and beer. So I'll just wait for them to figure this out with studio.
All right. Okay. Well, salute to you. So this is the drone thing to jump on from show to show. Rob, actually, it's it's a community where some people have drone shows and drone live streams and talk drones, and then some people have live streams that don't talk drones, but it's all one family, and it's basically show hopping. Like Geeks Vana, Sean from the UK was on earlier before we came on. He was interviewing someone from the FAA. I got to check it out.
No, don't say that. Don't.
No, he wasn't.
Vic will get mad at you. Vic Moss. Vic Moss is known in the industry. I know Vic.
Okay, that's
Vic's
who
not.
it is.
Vic's not from the
He's-
FAA. Vic just got named to the FAA Drone Advisory Committee as a citizen operator. Okay.
Yeah.
I have
I'm sorry
one of
for
my
that
guys.
misinformation.
I have a buddy of mine, Mike Leo, Captain FDNY. He's on the Drone Advisory Committee under the government, local, state, tribal government.
Okay.
So Vic just got named to the Drone
So he
Advisory
just got appointed
Committee.
too.
So
Go ahead, Herman.
So yeah, Sean was interviewing him on that. Yeah, so that was
Okay, I
it was
misunderstood.
actually
I
very
misunderstood.
insightful.
I did misunderstand that. Rob, this is an awesome community. This community has supported me more than people in my real life off the web. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Tim. You're right
Sean,
about that.
really?
Hey, there's Sean Geeksbana.
You
He's
ain't
like
never lying.
Beetlejuice. You mentioned
Yeah, I tell ya.
Geeksbana, and he pops up.
Yeah, Sean, great live stream earlier with Vic. Vic, I've met him a couple of times.
Yes,
we've crossed paths at
Hey, Classic. I'm sorry I missed
a
you.
few
I'm trying to keep
a few events and a few discussions. So Vic's a really solid individual in the industry as far as his photography background and his insight into the industry. So I think he'll be an excellent representative on the Drone Advisory Committee. And like I said, a buddy of mine, Mike Leo from the New York City Fire Department, Mike's on the Drone Advisory Committee too. So also Mike is also a hobbyist at heart.
Hey, Michael Blade, how are you? Well, everyone, welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. And we usually do a little bit of drone talk, and every now and then we go squirrel.
Just a wee bit.
The intention is to not go squirrel tonight, but things happen.
Hey, drone shot.
Lawrence, squirrel is part of nature, okay? As long as it's a rat, it's not a rat, okay? We got the big furry tail. We're good, dude. Okay.
All right, that makes a lot of sense, Tom. It actually does. And if
happens.
you guys see me looking up, I have to remember not to talk to you, Herman, and you, Tom, up there, but to talk to you here at the camera, because I would probably be the world's worst anchorman, because I have the attention span of a rabbit sometimes.
That's
and
why
I'm
they
thinking
put-
about what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to do after the live stream. And to sit there and look at a dot like I'm looking at now, I just have to get used to it.
That's why they put the teleprompter where they put it.
If I
That's
vlogged
right.
more, maybe I would
right.
stay used to looking at the camera, but I try and it's
No, it's not easy.
It's
Well,
not.
you can
It's
put
not.
the camera where you have to look that way.
Sure, yes.
But then I would
Sean,
put
I would
it
say
here.
Vic does
I
have a
would put it here,
personality.
and then it would show more of the
I'll
house.
leave it at
but
that.
I would show more of the house. But
No, but what I'm saying to you is that you have a screen looking in the direction where you're looking now, right?
no, the screen
Okay.
is right here,
So put
and the television's up here with you guys on Zoom. So instinctively, when I hear you talk, I look up at the screen, and I should be looking this way.
I got it, Chief.
Yeah. It's going to take some getting used to.
Gotta
I'm
figure
normally on
But,
the right, Welsh Rob. And
we don't call this
it's
going
YouTube.
squirrel, guys, right? This doesn't classify. I don't know.
So what's the occasion?
Well, it
Hi, love, could you
depends.
bring me my
I
cup,
mean,
please? My
if
black
you
cup.
finish the beer, yeah.
Give me a second. You mind if I run to the fridge real quick and get my cup? I have some beer in there. I'll join you, Tom. Okay.
There
I
you
don't
go.
have the pretzels
There you
though.
go.
I don't have the pretzels though.
It was pretty funny. This morning, we go do our food shopping early on Sunday mornings, very, very early. Okay, crack of dawn type of thing, and went through. And the wife said, "I said, oh, I want to check out these new pretzels. They're little pretzel balls. They're pretty cool." So I pick up a bag, and she says, "Don't you want to get beer?" So I go back and I go, "Yeah, okay." Wife's prompted me to get a 6-pack of beer. I get up to the line. I couldn't check out with the beer. It was too early on a Sunday morning.
Wow.
Okay.
Are you serious?
So, in fact,
it was before 12. It was before 12.
No. It's 3 minutes before 8 a.m. Okay.
Oh,
New
wow.
York, you can buy beer at 8 a.m. Thank goodness. You know, bars close at 4. Well, right now the bars are closed. What can you do?
Yeah.
But you know, so yeah, no, a couple cold beers in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Okay,
Good.
it's been a while.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, Herman knows about this, but you remember the table that I ordered, and they said it was going to come between the 11th and
They
14th,
collapsed on you.
and I received it 2 days later, thanks to Amazon Prime. Well, I was supposed to put it up before the live stream, and it's still sitting in the box against the wall. So tomorrow, my wife will be working from here, but by tomorrow evening, damn it, if it kills me, I'm going to put it here. And I actually plan on taking this stuff off the wall, and it's a folding table. It's a wall table. What's that, Herman? What did you say, Herman? I didn't hear you.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Well,
Continue.
anyway, Tom, it folds up, and I make it desk height so I can do my working on when I work on drones or whatever, or updating. I'll have an extra table here, and then it folds down and sticks about 1 1/3 inches from the wall. So if I need to get into the trap room and stuff like that under the house, I can get in there. Jackson RC,
nice.
how are you? But anyway,
Jackson, I see. What's up,
it's
Chris?
supposed to be done, had been done yesterday and the day before when it came, but just never got around to it. You know how it is.
And you're going to do it while she's working.
No, I have to wait for her to finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once she finishes at 4:30, I'm putting the Bob the Builder hard hat on. I'm grabbing my hammer and I'm going to work.
He's going to pull an all-nighter there, Tom.
It'll probably take me all night to level the damn thing. Yeah, I do have a level.
Jackson RC, how are you, man?
I do have a level, so I should be okay, though.
He's going to pull an all-nighter because they're going to tell him, you're making too much noise and I'm trying to watch television.
Oh, stop.
I'm relaxing.
But anyway, I guess we can kind of go into the first story and then kind of I want people in the chat to understand when I'm speaking for myself because I don't know about Herman and Tom, but when I do a remote ID story or something relevant to it, it's not killing me anymore to give out information. Before I used to cringe talking about remote ID and people, I'm not going to do it and all of that. But this story is a little different. There's a company called Wing, and they are the first to how would you say? What did they say here? Oh no, that's another story. I see I'm mixing my stories up already. That's because I have 2 remote ID stories. Wing's response to remote ID unintended consequences for American consumers. Now, a lot of you are complaining, oh, they're going to be giving away my information and this and that. And until they come up with a remote ID application or app that you can put in your phone or they add to us drone pilots, I don't think you have to worry about it too much because a lot of people are saying while you can observe a plane and find out what cargo's on an airplane or see that it's a passenger as opposed to cargo plane,
thanks,
you
Rob.
Still can't find out too much information.
Super chat, $20 from Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it very much, Rob. I'm sorry. I don't have a 49-inch. Thank you so much, Rob, for a super chat. Taking care of my New York buddies. Keep up the good work. That's highly appreciated. As I was saying, I don't have a 49-inch like Herman, where he can swivel in his chair and go from screen to screen like that. But I'm working on it. I am working on it. So I can get rid of the screen up here and maybe have a screen from here. So, that might be pretty good.
See, my screen up here is my kicking back Netflix screen. So
okay,
got a 4K screen over there. So
and then you have the business joint on the bottom.
Then I have a couple of wides sitting here. So.
Okay, well,
if I do the studio space, I'm getting the next screen that's going to go there.
What's up, Stevie?
Well, hey, Stevie.
Capture Life Connection.
Stevie's in the chat. Is Stevie out with the family or is he he wants to come on a panel, he's more than welcome, of course.
Where's Tim? Tim Jackson still in the chat? No, Tim, I did not. I did not finish it yet.
I'm going to Facebook, Stevie, to send you an invite in case you do want to come in. I just have to pull up the invite and copy the invitation and all of that stuff. That I'll get back into the story about into this story that I was getting ready to go to.
You know, while you're doing that, I'm just going to mention something. I've been hearing a lot. Sorry for the background sirens. Welcome to New York.
A lot of what?
I've been hearing a lot about being able to fly over people, and there's an assumption that, hey, you know, I'm going to get the Mavic Mini 2 now, so this way I can fly over people. Again, it's very clear. The new rule states it must be prevented from lacerating human skin, which means you have to add the prop guards, which now puts it over the 0.55 pounds, or AKA above 250 grams.
Right.
So, folk, you're now in category 2. First off, you got to register it. Okay.
Yeah.
$5. It's not a big lift, but hey, but then you would have to file a method of compliance with a documentation of compliance. Okay. So it's not, hey, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to be able to fly over people. No big deal. It don't work that way. And it does apply to hobbyists as well.
Well, it was always a misconception with that drone, because a lot of people also thought that at one point that, okay, I don't have to register it, so that means I don't have to worry about flying in controlled airspace. And that was the first, you know, misconception that people had with that drone.
Right.
And I thought it was over and done with that, you know.
But people are still talking about it. They're still mentioning the fact that I can buy this small drone and fly wherever I want.
Right. So Rob's saying, hey, it needs more than prop guards. It must be ducted. Yeah. You know what? You don't know, but look, anything you add. My whole point is
takes it over the limit.
By adding the existing prop guards takes it over the limit. So imagine if you have to put a ducted prop guards on it. There's no doubt that's going to be heavier than a wireframe. So that's why I think that, look, you know, that might apply to some FPV flyers.
I'm laughing at Geeks Von. He says only an Inspire 1 with added lightsabers and a live tiger on board is allowed to fly over people backwards on a Tuesday. See?
In the afternoon.
Yes,
okay?
and it has to be in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, you know
is there
how
a specific
it's
time
you
period?
know how it's written, Sean.
Hey, Mason Jackson RC.
At a specific time period?
Yes.
No, she's cooking. She's got it. Nothing's burning. But anyway,
with the
getting back to the story about remote ID, I want to get to the gist of the story, because it's believed that one of the most technological used tools of our time may be also the downfall of us, and it's this remote ID thing, because at first they were saying that this allows a drone to be identified as it flies over without necessarily sharing that drone's complete flight path or flight history.
Authorized and unauthorized viewers. There's two categories: authorized and unauthorized viewers.
Yes,
that's what they're referring to. Who can see what, right? It's a license plate. It's a license plate, folk. So, but now the issue is on a network based system, you're like always broadcasting. On a broadcast system, it's within a small sphere of connectivity.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's only within range, okay, of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth only goes so far.
35 to 50 feet, depending on what type you have.
The whole concept, well, you can get it a little further than that. Remember, if we're talking about clear air, okay, you might be able to do a
Right,
little
no
better, but
obstructions.
not by much. But what we're really talking about here is what data is being released. So if it's in in an unauthorized user, will classify it as, I can see this drone is registered and here's the plate number on this drone.
Right.
Okay. I can see it's heading in that direction. So I don't know how much more they're going to allow to be shown, but we'll see. Okay.
Well,
So
if you remember in the
whole point
beginning,
is, can I see where I'm taking off from? There's still a little bit to come out on that. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that
hey,
part.
Bob Casey, how
Now,
are you, sir?
Now, an authorized user, we're talking about law enforcement, FAA, right? Government. They can basically, just like,
Hey, show.
if I pull up behind you in a police vehicle and I look you up on the computer, now I get your personally identifiable information.
Show.
So it's different what's going to be available. Basically,
And it
law
also
enforcement will get
depends.
anything.
It also depends on what country, because show is somewhere somewhere from Asia, and he says it has
Well,
been
and you got Sean
suggested
in the
that,
UK, so there's going to be stuff in the EU. There's, the Asian community is going to
but
have.
the Asian version is in compliance, as opposed to the United States version not being in compliance with prop guards on. That's what I was pointing out, because he says it has been suggested that
not
if
necessarily.
we use prop guards on a Mini with the Japanese battery, you might be in compliance. I don't know if this is true or not. Well,
you might be in compliance, but like Rob Camarada said earlier, they might the prop guards as we know them today might not meet the rule requirement. Remember, it has to prevent laceration to human skin.
yeah.
Can I stick my finger in? So we have to see how that pairs out. No doubt, I would think a company like DJI, with the market base that they have, is probably already looking at that and saying, okay, how do we solution this issue? Mm-hmm. And there'll be plenty of probably aftermarket stuff. This will keep Freewheel busy for a while.
The main objective for remote ID is to be able to say whether this drone is legal and that one's not. Because once you can separate the two, then you can start weaning out the weak, basically unregistered, illegal drones. And this is the most crucial part. And I have the perfect example, Tom. Herman and I were flying over by, what's that hotel? That four-star hotel we were flying? Which is it?
The William Vale Hotel.
The William Vale Hotel. And we had just finished flying, and they have a tennis dome there in the park, connected to the park. Now, we were packed up in a way. Had we had remote ID, we would have known that there was another drone in the area. And that's my main point of pushing and being such a supporter of remote ID, because not only was there another drone in the area, but he flew literally feet straight over us. Had someone been taking off or something, we don't know where the hell he was. We don't know where he was on his way to. He flew over this way, over the tennis bubble. And that's all we remember, the seeing of him. But had remote ID been in effect, we would have knew someone was in our
Would
bubble.
you know? Well, that would, I would say, to take that one step further, Lawrence,
if he was registered and legal.
Well, yes and no, maybe, right? If broadcast ID becomes a requirement going forward, maybe the drone he bought has it, he doesn't know it. That could be a different situation, okay?
This is true too. Yeah, you have a valid point. So
it's still broadcast, but it wouldn't broadcast that it was registered. It would broadcast that it was an unregistered aircraft, right? Now realize you just don't get to see this. You have to have some kind of app. Now, I would hope they would build it into our Go4 and our Fly apps and our Pilot apps, so that we could immediately recognize, just like right now, some of us can recognize manned aircraft in the sky. I would hope
this is true.
We
have Flight Radar. We have an app called Flight Radar 24 that does that. It tells you the plane, and the only plane that it doesn't identify.
No. I'm sorry. Lawrence, I have it for my DJI drone, not a third-party app. Okay, it's part of my
Okay.
Mavic Air too. It
Oh,
tells me there's manned
I didn't know
aircraft
that. I
in the
had no
area.
idea.
It warns me, it brings it up, the whole thing. Okay. I want to be able to see that if other drones are around me. You know, a lot of you don't know that when we fly as a group, we used to bring radios out with us, and we would broadcast where we were flying at what altitude. And, you know, we'd have a point of reference and say, you know, I'm at your
I still
11
have
o'clock
mine right here.
at 200 feet. Okay,
Right.
exactly. And this way we
Or
would all
someone's
stay in
transitioning
touch
from one altitude to another.
with each other. Yeah, that I'm coming in, and you know, sometimes people would be like, I'm coming in hot with 5% battery, but we won't name names, okay? But you know, it's like, okay, get out of the way. But you know, we're not talking about the three of us here flying. We're talking about 20, 25 people flying,
That's
right?
true.
Right,
That's
Herman?
true.
Remember those
Those days?
What I was saying to you.
Oh, how would you say, Tom? We're having a meetup and all of the admins are administrating, and then a group of people come up that want to come to the meetup, but not really, and stand off to the side. And then you have 3 more drones in the air that we don't know who the hell they are, but we know they're in a group. We've had that happen a lot.
three towers. Yeah, 3 towers all working,
Yeah, we have
not in
had that
concert
happen.
with
In
each
fact,
other.
at Valentino Park, if
Yeah.
you remember.
I remember that one
Yep, because
because
Tom was
somebody
in the
yelled at
group
me
with
that I was
Advanced
in his
Flyers.
airspace,
You were
and
in
I
the
was
group.
standing next to him when I kept on telling him. Yes, yeah, I remember that well. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Wing, and I've checked it out even on with AUVSI, when they first reported that.
Yeah.
And they take issue to the fact that the network standard is the standard is usually a network remote ID system is what they take issue to.
Right.
The broadcast,
And they're miffed that it's broadcast. Yeah.
right, that broadcast system is what they take issue to.
See, I had no idea. Arnie Rosen says in the chat, says he has it on his Mavic Air. So now question, is that on the actual, it's in the app that you're using? So does that
it's in the
include
Fly
map?
app. In the Fly app, it actually, it actually does. It you know, it will come up and alert me that there's an aircraft. Be careful, so you can hear alerts and all. But yeah, you can see what's going on. You know, you can pull it up on the map and see it. So, you know, that's what I'm hoping they do with
Bob
remote
Casey,
ID,
that's a
because I
popular
would like to
term.
see them around.
That's a popular
Well,
term here in New York. I'm coming in hot.
Okay, coming in hot.
Oh, coming in hot.
But
You may have
you know,
someone
think
who
about it.
overextended their battery, and they're making a beeline in. And then we would actually get on radios and say when we were using radios, we'd say someone's coming in hot and try and clear a path.
Jockeys.
Yeah.
Range jockeys. Okay.
Yeah.
How much can I get out of my battery? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gotten a lot out of my batteries. I'm not, you know, going to be the first one up, but still, yeah, you know, coming in with 5%. We've had a couple of people come in with negative numbers. You know, so
yeah.
you just got to realize you're putting.
I've actually seen someone land
$1,500, $1,600
I've
at
actually
risk.
seen someone land on 2%. I've seen someone land on 1%, 9%, and I've actually seen someone's drone cut off as it hit the ground. So it's when they say coming in hot, they mean hot. Tail. Rule on flight over people states the UAS must display a label on the aircraft indicating eligibility to conduct operations. Perhaps suggests you need to buy specific drone rather than modify existing. You want to know what? It would not be too cost effective to have to modify a lot of the stuff that's out there. Now, as of a certain time period last year, they were supposed to start building drones in preparation for remote ID. And keep this in mind, DJI has been broadcasting from day one. The only problem is, and it goes to the other remote ID story I was doing, that Now the United States wants a drone to have remote ID using their tech and not overseas tech. And therein lies the
They
problem.
want to standardize it.
Yes.
No. They want to
Yes. So
standardize
we
it
might as well segue
to
into that
control
part of
it.
remote ID and go into the second story, which means the patent for remote ID goes to an Oregon-based drone research and development company. Now, basically, what they're saying is these are the first of a group of drone research and development people that the first one that comes up with a decent remote ID system, they're going to be willing to try. It's a race out there to see what and who can come up with it first. Now, it's kind of it's how would I say? I'm trying to word this right.
So if are we talking about Kenji?
Yes,
Is this the one
yes,
about?
Kenji
Okay.
Sugihara.
So Kenji's the CEO and president of the Drone Service Providers Alliance. Okay, and he's also on the Drone Advisory Committee. But Kenji came up with this well before final rule and well before there was any realization that it would go broadcast versus network. Okay, so Kenji wound up getting himself a U.S. patent, but
to
as far
start
as I'm
work
seeing it,
to start work on remote ID.
actually, it's not to start work so much as it's how a system would work.
Exactly. One that actually
it's an electronic beacon that's mounted to the UAS system, broadcasting the identification and sensor data, which includes the UAS's identification code. Okay. And plus the global positioning information and the telemetry information. It's all contained in that data stream that's flowing from this broadcast module. Okay. Yeah.
This goes back to the first story that Lawrence was talking about, and this is what Wayne took issue to. The fact that with that broadcast and that module that everyone is talking about, it presents, the possibility for non-compliance, where had they have gone with the networks-based system, we would not have had that problem. That's where the issue took place at.
And I take exception to that. I don't know that that's the case. I don't think it's been realized yet. Okay, I honestly don't think.
Well, in this same story, they say
Bluetooth fully submitted at this point.
In this same story, they also say Bluetooth is an interesting way to approach it because it's short range, but Bluetooth isn't reliable, and Bluetooth can be cut out by other frequencies.
No, but realize something. With network, you have everything is captured. Nothing is thrown away. Okay? With network, there are privacy issues that are involved in network because you create a heat pattern. Every bit of your movements, every bit of your activities,
Drone obsessed,
create a heat pattern. And
Ariels.
Would you want to be? You want your car rides followed that way? You want your goings and comings? So there's a lot to be said. On the negative side, on the network side too. So I'd like to see how it starts to flesh out. Look,
but when you say
on
network,
the Bluetooth side, we're talking about why are you looking up this drone unless you are in close proximity? Okay,
right? But the Bluetooth. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, finish.
Bluetooth it's not just Bluetooth, also Wi-Fi. Don't mistake. Look, we fly drones using Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So Bluetooth is just it's a redundant connectivity methodology. But let's see. I want to see how it matures a little more. We got some time here, guys. With 3 years
Rob
off.
Says,
with 3 years off. Okay.
Hold on, Rob. Rob says, are you non-compliant if you lose GPS signal? No. Because whether you have GPS signal or not,
as long as you maintain control, Rob.
Right.
Okay. So Rob, if you're flying in ADI mode, and sometimes you wind up flying in ATI mode because you lost GPS,
or
but
you're
you,
you're in a building.
As a competent pilot, okay, still maintain control. Well, what you're talking about, Lawrence, is a GPS denied environment, right? Or
Yes.
GPS restricted environment
Yes.
where you don't actually have it. But if you lose it and you wind up in ATI mode, right, you can still be in control of the aircraft. So we're not talking about it from that context.
Right, and also
look, we have a couple of years here, okay?
at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, well, we got now. So the rules should be published the end of this month, probably, and then 60 days after that, it becomes enacted, and then we have that period of 30 months post that period for it to actually take effect.
Well, I want to mention one last.
They start changing.
I wanted to mention one last thing about Bluetooth.
Evolving into what they're going to be as the time goes on.
Well, I wanted to mention one last thing about Bluetooth as well. For those of you who fly FPV know this, but for you guys that fly camera drones, you may not. A lot of the boards that they're making now are coming with Bluetooth. Excuse me. And I believe that has a lot to do with complying to RFID, whether you want to or not, because every time you power up the drone, the Bluetooth is active. Only way you'll be able to turn it off is in software, which we plug our drones up. We have software to tune our drones and stuff, but most of the boards are starting to come with Bluetooth. And believe it or not, the range on Bluetooth isn't bad. You figure 35 to 50 feet. What level of Bluetooth, say Bluetooth 20, they may come out with that allows it to transmit several hundred feet, with thus giving you that bubble. If you remember when Bluetooth first came out, you couldn't go 5 feet from your phone.
Wait.
Now I can leave my phone in the car,
right,
and come in the house, and it'll say disconnected only because there's concrete between us and beams, but the car is like 50 feet away from where I'm at right now. So it is advancing.
That's what it is.
I think at this point, okay, it's going to mature a little bit more. Okay.
Of course it is.
And we have some time. Guys, 2 years in this industry is pretty significant. Okay.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, can I shoehorn in a story real quick?
Sure.
Hold on a second, Tom. Now, before you do that, when you mentioned 2 years, and I had said 2 years a long time.
Hey, Pixies channel.
We were doing the show about the whole year. There was so much that I wanted to put in there. If we'd have put in, it would have been a 3-hour show. We'd have been talking forever, because there was so many different things that we covered in 1 year. How much?
Oh yeah, man.
How many things we went through in the drone industry in 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's it. What the final iteration of this? I mean, we had this involvement, roadmap basically, and we have to see how it matures out. So let's talk about important stuff for a second, okay?
Yeah.
Do we know that sports betting company DraftKings and the Drone Racing League will now allow betting on drone races in some states? The two companies announced DRL, which CNBC describes as a first-person view racing league, allows pilots to compete for prizes.
Will remote control to become a source of unhealthy EM? Well, you want to know what? I doubt it. Because there are devices that run off of half a watt that can transmit a quarter mile. So I kind of doubt it very much. I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, you're carrying your phone.
You get more EM walking past your microwave with a filter in front of it.
So they are now taking bets on drone
racing league. I did see something related to that.
So so of course the states that already allow online betting, okay, but the first races they did a pilot program, and also DraftKings then is going to be a pretty big sponsor, I would imagine. So DRL's getting some
Let me tell you something. If this online
Getting
bet,
some real traction there.
if it takes off the way it should, and New York doesn't move on it, those gas
They're
stations
foolish.
on the other side of the tunnel are going to be
Online betting, legalized marijuana. I mean, it's just like wait until every state around you has it and is bled off
And then it's
every
too
bit of
late.
tax
But
money,
you
And
know
then
what
it's too
tax
late.
revenue. And then you're just cutting in your own piece instead of taking, you look and it states that do allow it.
Uh-huh.
You're commuting from outlying states, okay, to use it. Okay. I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning the gambling, but I'm saying, look, you see what happened up in the Catskills when they left all that dormant for how long, and they just let it decay up there.
Yeah.
They
Decay's
could
a
have
good
put
word.
that. Yeah, they could have really. You will love flying at the Concorde, Lawrence, when it was abandoned.
Yeah.
So, but now they're allowing casino gambling up there. Most states are.
Tables.
They were also doing tables up there.
But you know what?
It's tribal.
While New York City was New York City was busy negotiating whether to allow a legalized gambling, people were leaving the state. Now Atlantic City is hurting bad because of New York and places like Connecticut, and you have Foxwoods going up into the Bronx. These places, people are saying right now in Brooklyn, more people are coming from Brooklyn out here to the racetrack, to Resort World. Think about it. 2-hour bus ride, 2-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
And then you have to catch the same bus coming back, or hop on a subway train with a bunch of friends and ride 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, 15, 20 minutes.
I want to touch on something Sean just brought up. And Sean, I think you hit it right on the head there. There is a reason why the FAA does like the Bluetooth technology, and Sean did hit on it. Bluetooth, one thing Bluetooth can do is geofencing. So that is a good point. That's a very good point.
That is very, very true.
And that could definitely limit your ability to fly in areas that you're not supposed to.
You fly out of a certain range and you lose signal. When you lose signal, what happens? Usually
what you can do actually is you can set up a perimeter around an event or a structure or an area, and that in that area.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
You basically are broadcasting an electronic fence, a geo fence around it, so that when a drone is approaching it, that drone is sending that remote ID information via Bluetooth, and then handshake coming back is saying, nope, you're not allowed in. Sorry.
Right.
Turn around and go back where you came from. So there's a couple of scenarios. Good point, Sean. There's a couple of scenarios where I see it could get a lot of leverage.
In that podcast we were checking out, where they were talking about how it's been used already over in Europe and other places, and that was what they were doing with that. He was saying that how if they need to, if there's like a major accident downtown, they can put up a TFR and have that
right away.
Out right away. So you don't even emergency responders don't have to worry about drones.
Well, that's an excellent point, right? That was also the point I was going to raise about being able to see other drones in the sky. If I'm flying for public safety, I want to know who else is up around me. Okay, that's a definite. But So Sean just mentioned that your drone won't fly without remote ID working, except if you're in those special flight areas. Okay. Remember, there's still those bubbles, right? Those bubbles you can operate in where you're not broadcasting or anything,
right?
But they're very, very limited. So what are we talking about here in the States? We're basically talking about AMA fields or authorized flight areas. Okay.
That are within those 5 mile areas.
Which basically all of them all come. Well, yeah, but they're specific areas. Like in our neck of the woods, we have Flushing Meadows Park, which is damn right next to LaGuardia Airport and on approach 2-1.
Yeah. I think
but it's still
that's the closest AMA field to any airport in the USA. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's pretty close. But if you think there's also one over in Floyd Bennett, which is sitting right on the pathway
On the side of
to
the
JFK.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
in New York we have no choice. In New York City, what we refer to it
It's right on
as
the other side of the golf course.
we refer to it as a tin ceiling. Okay, we're nothing but Class B. We have 2 international airports, and LaGuardia is LaGuardia Airport also. But we have JFK, we have Newark, we have LaGuardia, Newark Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Iceland. We have, so we're nothing but a tin ceiling above radar 24. You point it up at the sky in New York, you're going to come up with something. Something's above you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
There's usually something above you at most times and points in New York. The closer you are to Manhattan, the more traffic there is. The further away, then you got to run into Long Island traffic. You have the private helicopter pilots that flying the helicopter from their backyard or their yacht to Manhattan.
And guys,
catch.
if we do have plenty of helicopters, and if there's a traffic jam, we probably have 4 sitting right over that traffic jam. And this is New York City, so guess how many traffic jams we get a
Sean,
day?
do me a favor. Stop giving them ideas.
Now, you know what's the crazy thing, Lawrence?
But the thing is, we also have seaplanes, Herman. We have seaplanes, Herman.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying, Lawrence. Where here,
Okay.
I'm wide open here. But if you want to fly over buildings, then knock yourself out. Because the whole trip would be up over all of those buildings.
True.
Everything.
That is true.
The buildings. Unless you go over to the park. And then you got to fly over the trees about 150 feet, 200 feet.
That's true. Because other than Prospect Park, what other open areas are there over there by you, Herman?
The park.
Yeah.
Unless you go all the way down to, like I said, Garrison. And that's right on the other side of the golf course where Floyd Bennett Field and the airport were all within 5 miles. And
Garrison is a legal place to fly.
But here, but it's still within the 5 miles of the airport. It's only legal because of the airfield.
Yes.
No, it's a special flight area. Yeah, it's a special flight area. Yeah, but realize that bubble, like at Flushing Meadows, that bubble is 600 by 200. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a 600-foot diameter by a 200-foot ceiling.
You push,
and actually, if you fly
out of it,
if you fly outside of there, which we all fly over the lake, the lake is not within that area, by the way. So,
yeah, I know.
We got to see how that plays out.
NYC drone fire.
And if you go ahead and you measure that circle, you'll see it was well designed, that circle over there. And then you have Calvin, right?
Good afternoon.
Hey, Matt. Oh, you got to mute the show.
You got to mute. Yeah, you got the show
on. You got to
mute
the show. Now, I'm not going to ask you what tiger you caught in New York to get that background there from, but I just thought I'd point it out.
Is this right here?
Yeah. I'm messing with you, man. It looks like a tiger stripe. I see it's brown, but it almost looks like tiger stripes from the angle. I see that. That now. That's it. That's a good illusion, though.
Yeah.
You can pass that off for a tiger skin, dude.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this little area right here. That's all.
You got to green screen it, Matt.
I know. I was looking into that. It's just, it's a lot of preparation.
It's not. You need lights on the green screen, and you need lights on the subject.
You get a little pop-up. You don't need anything that large. Of course, unless you're going to do stand-up work, that's a different story. Okay, but no, you turn around. They just like our landing pads, right? Okay, Last Light. A couple of companies they make those. They just pop up. You put them behind you, and
later, Sean. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Matt, I'm relocating. I'm selling I got a whole studio next door to me. Okay, I got lights on tracks. I got soft boxes. I got roll down backgrounds, dude. It's
Conversation.
ripe for
Yeah.
the taking, man.
Ray is looking to start a studio too. Yeah, y'all can have that conversation.
Okay, just put them in touch with me, man. I hate this to see this stuff go on a big white truck on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, so
We just came back in from Morris Canal Park. It was nice. It's my first time over there.
oh, that's the first time you went over there by the Colgate clock, and yeah, it's
You
nice over
said
there, right?
at a COVID park?
No, by the Colgate clock.
Oh,
Colgate clock.
I was. I'm sorry there. Let me take
And
this
I'm the one
earpiece
that's
out.
been drinking the beer. Yeah.
Let me get rid of this earpiece here.
We actually went to Corona Park.
Yeah, we that's true. All of us have been to Corona Park.
Corona Park.
We have been. For those of you who don't live in New York City, there's actually an airfield in a park called Flushing Meadow Corona Park. And
But
since
that's
Corona
why
has
we
started,
went
they've just called it Corona Park. Meet me in Corona
there.
Park.
That's why we went there.
New York City laws limits where you can take off and land from. It's more airspace.
It's what Rob's referring to is the administrative law.
Okay.
Which we hope at some point is overturned, and some point the city council sees that there's some financial gain in it for using drones to do facade work and facade inspections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now there will be a big lobbying against it by the carpenters union. Okay, because remember the scaffolding people, I think, fall under the carpenters union.
Yes.
So you start putting up drones instead of having to put up scaffolds for 3
Well, I'm
4
sorry,
years
technology's changing. Get a 107,
right?
you wouldn't have to complain.
So
Because
in New York City,
it's coming.
we have a law where you can't take off, or land within the confines. That was basically enacted back in the late 40s.
I was going to say isn't that one of those rules?
It was 1946, 47. It's in force. It's in force. Okay. And it is being currently challenged because we had some people flying during the lockdown, and they have been brought to charges on some of those. So, once you get lawyers involved, there'll be some old antiquated laws that will be addressed. But it was the reason it came about in New York City was there was concern that every rooftop would have a heliport, and that would create nothing but a nightmare. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, guys?
I think what happened was they stopped.
Every house will have at least 3 drones.
They stopped helicopter takeoff from rooftops when they had the issue at the Pan Am building.
Yes.
Now,
I remember that.
About building inspections, and you start talking about pushback from. This is going to open a lot of things up, and I tell you, it's going to open up a lot of cans of worms, because when building trade gets involved and you come there now to fly your drone to do inspection, if you need batteries charged and stuff like that, the electricians will be charging your batteries or providing you to charge those batteries.
Right. And most likely what will happen is the drone pilots will have to be certified and then, of course, collectively bargained by one of these trade unions. But, if you look at it in a city like ours here, we have some infrastructure that defies logic when it comes to inspections. Just look at our East River crossings alone. The Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge, 59th Street Bridge, Triborough Bridge. Okay, the McCombs Dam Bridge. Come on, we have so many river crossings, and I didn't even talk about the GW, or the Whitestone, or the Throgs Neck, or the Verrazano, the Marine Park Bridge. All these things require inspection. Me as a citizen, I want these things inspected on a regular basis because I'm driving over them.
On a regular.
And, like I said, and the nightmare. By the time you start inspecting one end of the bridge in conventional method, by the time you're done, that end of the bridge is already rusted away. Okay. And we know some of our public works don't stay on schedule.
Well,
So
Tom,
this puts us all at risk.
to our streets too. That's why we can't keep good streets. It's not because they didn't do a good job. It's because the street was needed before they paved it. And as soon as they finish paving it, once it gets a little bit cool, the cars are on it already, and it's not good for it. It needs to sit and settle. But what we're talking about with this, the bridge and all these, they can be, but the time that it takes to plan it, get it set up, get it done, who's going to get the bid for the contract to do it.
Okay, so there's a term we use here in the city, like when they work on the BQE, you know what that's called, right?
Hey, Rob.
That's called a pension project. Because you start your career working on it, you actually end your career before the project's done. Okay?
Well, they're using it while you're doing it. It could get done if you had some place to put that traffic.
I got to tell you, coming off the Grand Central Parkway west onto the Jackie Robinson, it is a free-for-all.
It's a nightmare.
The grade changes.
Yeah.
The grade changes 4 times, and there is signage chaos.
Now,
I had somebody cut me off at the last minute. Because traffic wasn't that bad, so we're all moving. We're doing 50 miles an hour. All of a sudden, he decided he wanted to occupy the exact same space I currently.
Oh yeah, you get a lot of that.
In. Okay. And I'm working the brake and steering wheel, trying to make sure I don't wedge myself between the Jersey barrier, and this knucklehead. I just stopped just in the nick of time, and he slipped through. And it's like no big deal. But that's driving in New York City. Hey, I digress.
That's
okay.
That's a local drive to the store, Tom. You know that on Sunday morning.
If most of our roads, if we could eliminate all that traffic and put it someplace else and get it done, it would be a lot better. But
we don't let the concrete cure before we let the cement trucks roll over it. Okay, please. Okay.
The bus puts a groove in the street from rolling over it.
Dude, we did a sidewalk. We had to do our sidewalk, right? No sooner the sidewalk gets done, they decided after 50 years to replace the hydrant on the corner. Okay? They came and broke up a portion of the sidewalk.
Oh, they moved all of that.
They left it there for 3 weeks. Then when they came back, the cement truck sat outside for 3 hours. Then the road crew came up. The guy on the cement truck was screaming at him. Do you know what's happening to this load sitting on here for 3 hours? No big deal. They slap it on. Half that sidewalk is gone already. It's only been in there for 2 years. Okay. Meanwhile, my neighbor on the corner is getting cited for it by the city. Because why you let the sidewalk break up like that? He had just got done doing a $10,000 sidewalk cement job, right? So you can't win with the city. Okay.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right, 100% right about that.
Yeah.
Anything city related, it's going to take time, and they're going to take their time.
They did so much over here, man, and then they put up a building and unearthed all those little creatures from underground.
Yeah.
And they won't leave.
They got to go someplace. They got to go someplace.
Might as well forget about it.
What happened?
There's a food source. You might as well forget about it. They're not going nowhere.
Hey, Rojo, how are you? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. What's up, Drone Fox Island? How are you? Well, I wanted to point out, Rob was saying he lives out on Long Island and he wants to fly with us. I don't post an NYC Fly World Drone Meetup anymore unless I'm just trying to be irritating. But
when the weather gets better and you have your 2 shots, and at those meets.
In those guys group,
I want to see your
we didn't have many meetups last year because there just wasn't enough time in the day, and Herman was on one wheel and stuff. But we plan on having some meetups. If you're not afraid, Rob, to fly in the cold, okay. Which, by the way, today, guys, Justin, Mikey Adams had one of those hand muffs. We were out flying today, and I got to try one, and I'm ordering one in the morning.
Now you have to have one. Yep. See, I know it.
Sorry. The radio,
I know.
the radio fit inside, the antenna stuck out, and I was standing there nice and snug as a bug because
And you throw
today
a
was
couple
one
of
of
those
those
hand
days that
warmers in there.
it wasn't cold, but if you didn't have wind gloves on,
Yeah.
it was cold for your hands.
You got to throw a couple. You throw a couple of hand warmers in there. Those little packets into the muff.
Yes,
into
yes,
the mid.
yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to come, hey Rob, we fly out in Far Rockaway. I don't know how far you are from Far Rockaway. Google it. We fly out here quite often along the beach when we want to do little fly local in the parks. We have a few spots around here, but you're always more than welcome.
And if you are on Five Boroughs, check out Five Boroughs. As you know, they throw some meetups around. As long as they're not charging you for the meetup, I would go to them.
Yes. As long as they're not charging you for the meetup, I agree with that. Because they do have.
Plus, there are a couple drone groups down on Long Island too that have Facebook sites. So you have a Suffolk County site and you have a an Nassau County site. Herman, it hurts, doesn't it, Herman? I know, man. And I realized after I said it, man.
FPV Joel,
hey,
he got it from.
I did have a BA. It's been a while. Okay.
He got them off from Bang You Good, but Race Day Quads has them and they're out of stock. They have the same exact
Check
one
it up on Amazon.
with
Check
a different name.
Amazon has them also.
Yes.
They are up on Amazon.
Wait a minute. It was something Tech, Star Tech. It was named Star Tech on Bang You Good. But like I said, Race Day Quads is here in the States, and they sell out quick. So you just have to keep an open eye for them. But they're basically, all I had to do was stick my antenna through the top and screw it onto my radio. And I burned like 4 packs and my hands felt like they were inside my hoodie the whole time I was flying. In fact, I was a little upset that I had to take my hand out to pull a battery on the drone and, and change the battery. That's the only time my hands got cold. But FPV Joel, if I can find a link for one, in fact, hold on. Well, you guys,
I got it already for you. Hold on.
Well, I got a question there, Tom. That fee, is it like to enter the park or is it to like be around?
No, I think you get a certificate with it too.
Okay.
So,
a certificate that you got took.
And usually like breakfast bars or donuts. I'm not sure, but there are refreshments served. Okay. So hey, there's value. There's value.
Listen.
I posted the link up on Amazon.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
For that specific one. Okay.
All right. Now hold on. Now see, usually when they say $1.99 shipping, it's from out of the country. So let's see what's sold
probably from Bang You. While you figure it out, I'm going for a refill.
Yeah, it's come from Shenzhen, China.
Yeah.
But this is the exact one I used today. In fact, hold on, I'll share the screen for you guys. This is the exact one that I used today, and it was really nice. You have 3 slots on the top here, in the top area here. I stuck my antenna through the middle slot, and this zipper at the bottom allows you to put several types of radio. It even holds a DJI. It even holds all the DJI controllers, as you can see.
Sorry, I just came back. Did you say you slip your hand into the zipper?
Have another
beer,
I miss?
What I miss?
I like
I'm
you
sorry.
like this. I'm
sorry. I thought I missed something.
They're very you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
What's that fur made out of?
What's this fur made out of?
Yeah.
It's not fur, it's actually fleece.
Yeah.
Fleece, there you
So
go.
fleece, and as well as I do, fleece can be made from any animal.
No plastic.
I just thought I would point that out.
They're making it out of plastics now.
But it is water. It's also waterproof, and
basically that blocks the wind. I mean, that's
it is. This one is not for. This one is not for subarctic flying. Okay, and it was funny because
but
today
neither
wasn't
am I.
cold, but it
so
was
that
cold.
Works out.
Right. Well, see, Lawrence, that's the whole thing about gloves and even a jacket of some sort. You just really need something to block that wind. Once you got something to cut that wind, you can put a thin insulation underneath it and be fine. but they just don't make a glove that you can actually cut wind and have that thin insulation and work with.
Well, that's why I had brought some wind gloves because a lot of runners use them because the runners have to keep their extremities warm.
Dexterity in their fingers.
Yes. As long as you keep the wind off of your fingers.
I've been working outside for years. I work construction.
Welsh Rob says, big guy in New York in muffs, only on this show. Hey,
whatever works, man. We are not proud.
All I can say,
as long as we are warm.
All I can say is the skateboarders were out there, and one guy fell and ripped his glove, and it was like dangling. He's like, "Well, I'm done, guys, because this hand's cold and this one's warm." So,
it's nothing proud about shivering. Okay.
Yes, but if you fly a camera drone or an FPV drone, FPV drone knows you need one of those muffs. Definitely.
That day we flew on your birthday, the drone was saying, "Yo, you put me up here to hover, dude. Seriously?"
What's that?
The day we flew on your birthday, the drone must have been saying, "Dude, seriously, cold it is."
Oh yeah, Tom. One year I had the foolish idea, Tom. That Herman probably, he's still cursing me now subliminally, but I had the stupid dream of wanting to fly on my birthday. And this was like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It got to be 3 years ago.
And Herman was what? Your Make-A-Wish?
Well, no, it was December 9th, which is my birthday.
No,
but it was brick out. When I say brick, we left at night, and the temperature was in single digits. And we figured by the time we got there in the morning, it would have at least warmed up to double digits, and we would have been able to fly. It was so cold. The police were like, if these guys are up to no good, they won't be there long.
You're right.
You already said, he said we left that night. No, it was that early that we got to the park.
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was dark when we got there. It was me, Herman.
Drone, and I'm like, they must think I'm out here to do something wrong. And I'm like, nah.
The drone seriously thought it was on the punishment. Because not only were we standing on ice, but it was me, Herman, Justin, Ben, and Xavier. And I think who's the other Asian guy? Kevin, big burly dude. Kevin came, and everybody's like this, like, yo, I think this is a bad idea. And Xavier, of course, he was the first one in the air. So once we seen his drone didn't drop from subarctic temperatures, everyone else started flying. But we only burnt a pack or two, and we were out of there. And it was at Queensbridge, at the base of what bridge?
The 59 bridge.
Yes, the 59th Street Bridge. We were in that park,
Queensboro.
We were in that park there. Of course,
Queensbridge Park.
Yes.
Along Vernon Boulevard in Long Island City.
Let's just say I never mentioned another birthday flight again after that day.
Bridge. The last time they did the work on that bridge, I was working for the supply house. This was before I even went into construction. I've been in construction for more than 20 years. That's the last time they worked on that bridge.
That's the scary part, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can use a lanyard with it, sir. Yes, you can.
Oh, wow. You talk about bridge inspections and the bridge and stuff. That was the last time they worked on it.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, you think about it. That's why these antiquated laws have to be changed. I mean, we got to use this technology. It's going to serve us. We lost a woman earlier this year. Actually, last year. It's 2021. And she was an architect. Go figure. Right? She got killed on the streets in Manhattan because a piece of facade fell off of a high-rise building and struck her and killed her. And this stuff needs to be inspected.
Was that the architect?
That was the architect. Yeah,
I remember that story.
Yeah, very, very well-known woman in her industry too, and it's
okay.
So unfortunate.
We got to get into the last story because that gets into the title of the show. Could DJI distribution be a thing of the past in the United States?
Never.
Well, right now, Pilot Jose has a friend that has $500,000 worth of merchandise he's ordered with DJI, and they can't confirm a time or a date when he can get his merchandise.
Well, they kind of, everybody in this world's trying to figure out what's going to happen next in this country. So that's part of it. Okay?
I tried to assure him that after there was a political change or whatever,
stabilization and government
exporting and importing from certain countries would resume again.
Well, honestly, Lawrence, not to cut you off, but there was when they talked about the tariffs in the past, there was a hold on some of these tariffs, and now with this, with the last administration on the way out, nothing was done about the deadline on renegotiating the hold on these tariffs, and now they're going to be implemented. So your cameras, your computer parts, and stuff like that are about to go up.
Yes, expect that, and that's including us FPV guys. I mean, did you see
the entity rule is first? I mean, look, you're going to have a little bit of bouncing around here. Remember what happened to a particular cell phone manufacturer? There's some reprieves. There are some, periods of negotiation back and forth. I don't think it immediately impacts us as the consumer. I think long term it does, absolutely, if things don't get adjusted. But I think short term, will we be able to buy? Look, let's be real. Will we be able to buy our DJI FPV drone? Okay, coming out in February or March.
This story basically talks about how DJI confirms you'll be able to purchase drones in the United States, but on a distribution level, people are scared. People don't know. Like I said,
I think you're going to have to buy DJI drones from DJI.
Wants to open a drone company, and Pilot Jose actually called me. He's like, "Yo, Lawrence, my friend has ordered $500,000 worth of merchandise from DJI, and they cannot give us a delivery date or confirmation date."
And I think that would be the wrong road for him to go down. I think as individual consumers, we will be able to buy DJI drones. We'll be able to buy them through DJI distribution, which is directly from them. I think if you're a new business, or even some of the large suppliers like B&H and Best Buy, I think those are the entities that will be impacted first before we are. Okay. Because of the large scale at which they purchase. We're purchasing on the onesie twosies.
Yeah,
right. They're
true.
Purchasing hundreds of thousands of product.
Purchasing cargo containers full. And that makes the difference. Containers.
So that's where I think that's where it's impacted first. I think we wind up seeing a price increase immediately, and then I think it gets much more expensive as time rolls on, unless there aren't adjustments to this entity listing, so to speak. And if you're starting a drone business, you better have some significant overhead, because those blue UASs are not cheap aircraft, and they do not appeal to the consumer.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was strange that he would call me and ask me, but I know he knows that we do drone news and stuff. Maybe we had heard something, but right now, exporting and importing is basically on hold. There are a lot of companies out there, China, Taiwan, wherever, coming from the UK, that are just not sending us anything until after this administrational change.
Well, like I was saying to you,
and a lot of things have to be overturned as well, because a lot of rules on the exporting, importing level were changed during this administration.
Well, again, it's going to be a wait and see what actually happens, right? I mean,
that's all we can do.
We're talking about entities within the government that have to make adjustments, if there are going to be adjustments made. I mean, there's still overriding concerns. And remember why DJI got put on the entity list in the first place. Not releasing our information to the Chinese government. It was for human rights violations.
Yes.
So let's realize that that's a whole different animal for them to deal with.
Well, you know what? What's going to happen, what I see happening here, and this is just my stupid hypothesis of what could happen is if
Prices.
we as Americans are still allowed to buy onesies and twosies, and Herman sees this, and you see this, Matt, in the computer world, graphics card comes out by DJI. Guess what? There's a guy on the computer with 20 bots buying one individually, and they're all going to his address.
That's hurting them right now because, like, I mean, to change the subject, the Xbox and PS5, for instance.
Yes.
iPhone.
Yeah, they bought about 3,000.
Okay.
And they're hurting right now because they can't sell them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it happens. Right. It happens. Right. And then they price gouge them. Okay.
But the only
And,
way to
you know,
hurt them is for the companies themselves to keep stock up.
Mass produce them. Yes,
The
exactly.
thing is, what I'm trying to tell you right now is that with those tariffs that were implemented, that were being held back
Mm-hmm.
with this administration under certain agreements, they're going to go forth now. So those prices were going to go up anyway. It's going to have for the next administration to do something about it. But
prices and everything
and
go up.
and if that's even a focus item, guys, let's be real. Okay, in our world today, this might not be a front burner issue. Maybe it's a front burner issue for some of us because we're into this.
Right.
But
no, it's
guys,
on
in the scope of what happened this past week, it's not front burner.
The UK is now
Even
outside
that's
the
not front
EU,
burner.
and that will impact how they export. Yes, it's
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be
absolutely.
It's a worldwide thing that's happening right now.
I'm just saying the situation that happened in the United States this past week with the Capitol. None of this stuff is going to be on front burner. None of this
True.
stuff is going to get the time of day from
True. I agree.
months and months and months.
Paying
And
attention
even
to
if it sees anything this calendar year, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I
Well-
just hope they fix the other shit. Really do. You know,
I do too, but right now
I'll live with some drone restrictions if they can fix some of the other things, and I can be safe in my own
this
country.
is true. We're doing good, Mia's Drone Adventure. I'm glad you popped in and check out the live stream. Well, my only
you doing,
issue
man?
is, and I'm not really worried about it,
Yeah.
is the fiscal year is up in February for 9 out of 10 businesses here in the United States. And as you've seen on TV, you can get a 75-inch for like $700 now.
I was just looking.
right now.
That could be your new background, Matt. A couple of 75s, baby.
99.
You wouldn't need a background. You get a couple of two 75-inch
Yo.
screens. You can be anywhere you want, dude.
Get that thin bezel, baby.
But it's just hey D-Fly, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen because a lot of these stores are doing inventory now from now up until February. They have to do a physical inventory of their stores, their merchandise.
You're talking
and
retail.
Stuff. And
Yeah, you're talking retail.
And there are a lot of companies out there that ordered stuff that didn't expect COVID and the rest of this stuff that's going on in the world to happen. You
It is
know?
for retail.
And the only ones that aren't ordering stuff in advance are the car dealers. You don't see car lots full anymore. You see parking lots with brand new cars now because they're renting them. And they now, like Bentley, you don't get a car unless you've paid for it or you have one on order. You know, that's how they're shipping them out from the factories. They're not printing, the factories aren't putting out 1,500 to 2,000 cars a day anymore. So the television companies and all of them, they're starting to get slick.
Well, you got to realize when they put this stuff out, you know, Matt, you were mentioning it that they didn't have put out enough for them. Well, remember, we all blamed Apple for doing that as a marketing ruse for many years, and that was the case. Where the big buzz was you couldn't get one and you really wanted it because you couldn't get it, right? But it always defies logic with me that you can't build enough product to meet the demand. But what also happens is now they're putting out this product. Remember, there used to be this thing where you had alpha testers and beta testers.
I used
and then
to
it
do
didn't
it
go
before
out. I think that's you, Ray. Ray, yeah, thanks, bro.
Tom, I used to do beta testing. I used to do beta testing for video games back in the 90s. You want to know what happened? Some college kid somewhere said, Why are you paying him to test video games when I'll do it for free?
Somebody's really loud in the
I'm
background.
muting.
Usually right.
I just muted him.
Watching the football game.
No, so,
I just
but the thing
muted
is,
him.
what the point I was raising was that, you know, they used to have a production product ready to go and be released, and now today we get like 3 different firmwares in the first 2 weeks, right? So you know, we kind of feel like we're even when you buy a retail product, you're still a beta tester now.
Yeah, we're beta testers. That's what we are. Yep.
Yeah. So you know,
there you go, Ray.
Everything's soup to nuts now. Is you know, I turn anything on electronic and it's got to update itself 3 times before it's you know, provides any value.
Yeah, most of the time, most electronics come with no software in it. Once you turn it on, that's the software that's actually installing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because right, a lot of them, a lot of the information's on a BIOS chip to automatically update as soon as you power.
Yeah. So you know what happens is they're reluctant to overbuild product, but they're quick to release product because there are bills to pay.
Exactly.
So it's a tight market to stay alive in.
I think the new administration,
I think we're going to have some supply chain issues as time goes on until this is addressed.
I agree
because I
with
think
Drone,
it will be harder to get stuff.
With Drone Fox, Ireland, he says, I think the new administration will want to normalize its relationship with international markets. This is true, but Tom also mentioned it's not on the top burner.
It's not the focus items, unfortunately, because of the destabilized situation we have here in the country. That takes precedent over these foreign issues. You have to deal with the domestic issues, and I think those will be the
Eden Valley Drones UK.
And honestly, I think right now, COVID vaccine distribution should be
the prioritization of the world. Not
and
just the United States, but of the world.
I say that so all of us can get back out together, flying together at meets. Okay.
I know.
I just got the test. I go at 2:30 tomorrow, get my first shot, my first vaccine shot tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm scheduled for next week.
Listen, Ray, when you wake up in the middle of the night, butt naked on Atlantic Avenue, you'll know why.
I wake up butt naked.
Hey, Ray.
I sleep in my birthday suit. Say, hey, open up the window. Let the neighbors hear my name, baby.
Hey, Ray. As long as you're scheduled for that second shot, I'll be naked out there too, bro. So, hey, I tell you, man.
I know. I said that being facetious.
Give me mine and my wife's too, and we're flying out to the southwest, and we'll take up residence out there until this is over. Okay. This way, I have no traffic jams, and I have nothing but Mojave Desert to fly in.
There you go. Wow, sunset's crazy.
Yeah, that would make for some interesting stuff.
Everyone is unique.
We got like 3 minutes left to the stream. You know that I will be doing my live streams from 5 to 6:30, only because it's Sunday. And
I still got 20 minutes worth of beer left.
20 minutes.
Hell is with this, man. I've been pacing myself.
Well, it's only something I want to do temporarily as things get better on, and we plan on trying to add some things to those guys. So when someone does a super chat,
let me ask for a poll then in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody in the chat, honest answer.
And
just a yes or a no. Okay, simple question, yes or no. When the DJI FPV drone comes out, are you buying it? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
That's all.
So we can do a small
just a
count.
Quick,
When the FPV drone comes out, are you buying it? Yes or no? We got one no from me, one yeah.
First off, I have to say something, Lawrence. You damn elitist. Okay.
Oh, why?
I'm just saying, you're a damn elitist. Okay.
You know what it is?
Just because you already got it, bro.
Oh,
you're telling me you're going to be able to resist it?
Yes. You know why? Because I'm still. Well, how do I get?
Okay. What are we doing? Who's keeping track?
Go ahead.
3. Okay, here we go.
Stay on longer
He's got
because
to come back and verify.
Do that.
So, you know, I already put up there. I plan to buy it. So
right.
I'm in.
Like,
I'm a damn DJI fanboy by this point.
so
You
whatever.
gotta realize what you are.
And everybody that said they're not, they are so too, Brother Tom.
Okay, you maybe, you know, stop fence sitting. Okay, stop. Just stop. It's not worth it.
Look at your closet. What drones do you own? You tell me if you're a fanboy or not.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a nice little time out in Jersey City this afternoon. Me and Matt went out there.
From what I see, of more
Yeah.
people are saying no than yes, and I don't.
I'm sorry. You haven't been keeping track of the count. Don't come in at the last minute. Okay. Unless you're going to go back and audit that count. Okay.
No.
See,
no.
Marcel was like probably, and then he's a version 2. Damn fence sitters. Come on now.
Listen,
okay.
We appreciate you guys for coming and checking out the live stream. Sunday nights and those guys will only be running an hour and a half on Sundays. Herman's live stream is still running a full 2 hours on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You also have Canadian Drone Hub, who comes on every morning. What is that, 8 o'clock now? 8 a.m.? He's on at 8 a.m. You got Paul
He's on
Murray.
8 to what? 4 in the afternoon?
All
Herman, you heard Tom? He was like, "Where's he come on from 8 to 4 in the afternoon?"
No, he's
It feels like turn the machine on.
in the morning.
And don't forget Paul Murray.
I don't know. I think 8 o'clock or either 8 or 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right, but he's every
You know
morning.
when you get up.
You should have a list of live streams to go to. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy the fact that we here at Those Guys try to focus a little more on drone news and certain things that are happening in the drone
And have a
community.
laugh or two. Metro Drones. There you go. Super chat. Metro Drones.
Super chat.
Thank you, Metro Drones, for the happy Sunday, droners. Sorry I missed most of the live stream. Well, if I can save this stream right, you can always go back and watch the part that you missed, which we always appreciate. Anyway, we appreciate all the super chats. We appreciate all you guys coming in, but it's already 6:32, and I'm feeling the heat over my shoulder. We're not going to go into that. So we're just going to end it with, we appreciate you all. Please come check out all our live streams. And if you're not a member of Those Guys on Facebook and you want to become a member of Those Guys on Facebook, you have to say, yo, it's me, Welsh Rob. Because if John McAdoo asks to join, I'm going to say, who the hell is that? But if you say John McAdoo and it's me, Welsh Rob, then we'll let you in. Okay, that's we're just not letting anyone
Thanks,
in
Mia.
like some groups.
Don't lie to him. He's got to give the secret handshake knock.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up
Right,
button,
and you got to
guys
shake the
and
raccoon
gals.
tail and everything to get in. So Sunday nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys, and we appreciate you all.
Guys.
Please
on Wednesday.
Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate you all. Metro Jones, thank you so much for the super chat, and we'll see you guys next week, God willing.
Everybody stay
or on
safe,
Wednesday's
stay
night's live stream. Okay.
Wednesday night, we'll see you back here. Wednesday night.
So Herman, I just hit that end stream.
Well.
Oh no. Nope. We don't do it that way.
Hit the end stream in Zoom, then hit it in the studio.